Should you hire an agency to manage your Facebook ads, or should you manage them yourself? Unfortunately, there is no cookie cutter answer that works for every business because, well, every business is different. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through a simple process or framework to help you make the best decision for your particular business and the particular stage that you're at right now. As someone who founded an agency and who's managed accounts for all different businesses at all different stages, I'm going to share what I learned along the way and give you my honest and best advice as to what I think you should do based on your particular situation. Also, to help with this, I put together a decision matrix that you can grab down in the description. There's a link to that. That will also help you sort of work through this decision-making process. All right, so we're going to walk through a few different business types or business scenarios. And overall, I think there are two main categories that a business falls into when they start thinking about managing Facebook ads. The first one is a business that has a new product or service, so a relatively new business, and they're getting that new offer out into the world. So they don't have any sales or very few sales at this point. And these businesses kind of fall into two subcategories as well. The first one is the bootstrapped business, so self-funded, and they're making the most of every dollar that they've got. And the second one is the venture funded or the funded startup, meaning they've got cash from outside investors that they have to use for their growth. And the second category here is the established business. So this is a business with an established product or service. They're getting sales, they're profitable, and now they want to use Facebook ads to continue to grow that business. Maybe they've even done some Facebook ads in-house along the way, and now they're thinking, well, should we hire an external agency to bring in to manage our ads for us? So we'll start by talking about that first category. The business that is new, has a new product, new service, and they want to use Facebook ads to get traffic, leads and sales for that product or service. Before we get into that, if you enjoy the video, all I ask is that you do tap that like button. It really does help the channel, it helps me grow, and it helps get this content in front of more people. If you want to hear more from me, hit the subscribe button, hit that little bell, and you'll get notified whenever I do release a new video on digital marketing or Facebook advertising. All right, so a new business, new product, service, and they're bootstrapping. How should they approach this? Well, there are a couple of things that I think are really important to consider. First of all, when you are bootstrapping, generally what happens is you're coming at this with a relatively small budget to start with, and there's nothing wrong with that at all, but that's just the way things are for most businesses when they've got a new product or service and they're bootstrapping. So let's say in this example, a business has a $1,000 per month marketing budget to spend on Facebook advertising. At that sort of level or at that point, the only real option that a business has is to hire somebody sort of in the $500 to $1,000 a month price range in terms of costs to have them manage your ads. Now, that's definitely at the lower end in terms of an agency or freelancer when it comes to their fees. And so what you end up getting at that level is somebody who's relatively inexperienced. Now, yes, there are absolutely diamonds in the rough, meaning there are people out there who are really good at what they do and are still charging around that $500 to $1,000 a month level to manage your ads. But those people are really few and far between, because what ends up happening is those people get fully booked really, really quickly, and as a result, they raise their rates. So they don't stay at that level charging those rates for very long. So they are literally a diamond in the rough. They're very hard to find. Chances are, if you go out there and you hire somebody for somewhere between $500 to $1,000 per month, they are going to be very inexperienced and you're going to be one of their first clients. And so as you can imagine, as a result of that, the performance or the results that they get you with your ads usually reflect that experience level, okay? Now let's also consider the fact that if you do have, say, a $1,000 a month marketing budget to spend on your ads, and you're paying somebody $500 per month for the management, that only leaves you $500 to spend on the ads themselves, which means you're actually allocating 50% of your entire budget to paying somebody to manage the ads for you. So to put that into perspective for you, if you're paying somebody $500 a month to manage your ads and they're able to acquire leads for you at, let's say, $5 a piece. Now those $5 leads are actually costing you $10 per month, because you need to factor in not only the $500 in ad spend, but the extra cost of $500 a month to have that person manage the ads for you. So because that ad management fee is such a huge percentage of your overall marketing budget, it actually drives up your cost per acquisition or cost per lead as well. So you really do need to factor that in. And even if you had a larger budget, let's say $2,000 a month to spend on your advertising, then you're still allocating 25% of your total budget to paying somebody to manage your ads. So it still adds a huge extra cost that you wouldn't impose otherwise if you manage the ads yourself. And that's why at this stage, that's generally what I recommend. You're better off managing the ads yourself because you can either hire somebody who's inexperienced and allocate, 50% of your budget to hiring that person, or you can manage it yourself and you're inexperienced as well, but it's kind of at the same level. So this means that instead of actually allocating a big chunk of the budget to hiring somebody, you can put that money directly into your own ad spend. So you're actually getting more leads, more sales from your ads by doing it yourself that way as well. Now, it doesn't end there. Something that I think is really important to talk about here is the goal or the objective of a business at this stage in terms of what they need to get from their Facebook ads. A big mistake that I see with businesses in this situation, new product, new service, new offering, and bootstrapping it, is they come in and they want to run Facebook ads and they want to be profitable from day one. And they see anything less than making big money from their Facebook ads from day one as being a failure. But I think it's really important to flip that mindset because at this stage, you have a few really big risks that you need to overcome and you need to be aware of. The first is that if this is a new product, service, or offering, you may not even have a product to market fit yet. If you don't have any sales, then you're not going to know if the market is going to actually respond to what you're offering. The second thing is you don't actually know if your sales system or sales funnel is going to convert your traffic into leads and customers. Because Facebook ads only bring traffic, right? They don't actually sell the product for you. It's what happens on the back end in terms of your sales process or your sales funnel that actually converts that traffic into a lead and a customer. So the mindset that I think is really important to take into this is when you're first buying Facebook ads for this new product or service or offer, you need to be thinking of it as buying data versus going in and making big profits right off the bat. So what you need to be doing with Facebook ads at this point is buying traffic and then seeing how that traffic performs in terms of converting to leads and sales after it hits your website. Then you need to be looking at it as, well, how well is our product selling? How many of these visitors are we converting into leads and sales? And then you want to work on using that data to improve your conversion rates and to improve your product or service or offer to get it to a point where it converts really, really well. And I think when you take that mindset, it really does change your perspective and changes your way of thinking. And it really does help you improve your chance of success over the long term when it comes to running ads on Facebook, okay? Because if you just get started, run some Facebook ads, and they're not profitable in the first couple of weeks and you blow your budget and you look at it and think, well, Facebook ads don't work for us, we're going to try something different, you might miss the complete opportunity here, which is just realizing that, well, it's actually our sales funnel that's broken, or our messaging or our offer just needs a little tweak to get it to work better. But instead you pull the pin and stop running ads and stop everything you're doing because you think ads just don't work. Often that's not the case, okay? So what I encourage you to do is run ads, view that data, analyze that data, use it to improve your sales funnel, your offer, your product, your service, and then continue to sort of repeat that cycle until you can run ads profitably and continue to improve. Okay, so all of that said, I think if you're relatively new, if you've got a new product, service, or offer and you don't have sales or you don't have many sales at all and you're starting to run Facebook ads, I would definitely run them myself or recommend that you run them yourself. And I would approach it from a perspective of I'm gathering data to start. I'm going to improve everything as I go. I'm going to continue to optimize everything. So the ads, the funnel, the offer, until I can get it to a point where it works really, really well. That's how I would recommend you approach it if you're at that stage in business. Now let's move on to a business that's in a similar situation. Their new product, service, offer, a new business. You want to run Facebook ads, but they are venture funded or they're funded by investors, meaning there is some money there that they have allocated to help them grow. Now, this is a little different, obviously, because they do have budget available. So at this point, I would actually recommend bringing somebody in to manage the ads, and I would hire an agency or a really good freelancer to come in and manage those ads for you. And the reason for that is because you have the budget to go in and bring somebody in who has proven results, experience, and knows your niche or your business type. So you can afford to go in and hire an agency or a freelancer with a lot more experience, and hopefully you can find somebody with relevant experience, meaning experience with businesses just like yours in your niche, and that matches up really nicely. So that's what I would recommend doing at this point, is going and bringing in somebody who is at maybe at a bit more expensive price point, but that gets you better results because they know what to do from the get-go. They've got that experience. They can come in and get you better results than what you could get if you manage them yourself, because that's the reality. And that's one of the big reasons to outsource, is you can bring in an expert if you have the budget available to do so. So that's what I would do there. The one thing I will say in this situation is you still need to take that same mindset of, we're buying data at this point, and we're going to use that data to figure out what we need to fix, what we need to improve, and what we need to really work on first to get this thing to the point that it needs to be at in terms of sales conversions, as well as getting our ads optimized. So one of the big things I say here is, a business will be new. They've got the funds. They go in and set up their sales funnel, sales process. They've got their new service or product offering. They run some Facebook ads, and they're not as profitable as they want them to be from the get-go. And again, they think, well, the problem is our ads, let's fire this agency and let's bring in someone new. When the reality is, what you really need to be doing is looking at that data, assessing it, and figuring out what you need to improve on the back end. This is something that at this stage of business, when it's a new product or service or a new business, you need to be working in tandem with your media buyer to improve things across the board. So your media buyer is going to focus on bringing you cheaper traffic. You need to be focused on improving your sales funnel and your offer to make sure that you convert as much of that traffic as possible into leads and customers. If you work really well in tandem, if you understand that the goal is to get data, then use that data to iterate and improve and then continue that cycle, then you will succeed. If you look at it like, well, we've got our thing, we've slapped it together, it's ready to go. Maybe not slapped it together, but you know what I mean. We've got our sales funnel ready to go. Now we just need a great media buyer. You still have those risks that the bootstrapper has, in terms of, you don't know whether you'll have a product market fit. You don't know how well your sales funnel is going to convert. And if those things aren't great, then you need to look at improving them. So just go into it with that mindset, and you'll be much, much better off in the long term. All right, now let's look at that final scenario, which is an established business. Now, this could be a business that either has been buying their own ads and are looking to outsource to an agency or a freelancer to do that for them. Or it could be a business that's grown really well organically and never used ads, and they're going, well, now we want to plug in ads to scale our business. Both of these situations are a great position to be in. So what I would say to somebody who has a proven business, they've got sales, they're profitable, and they're thinking about running ads and considering whether or not to bring somebody in, I would say in most cases, it does make sense to bring in an agency to do it for you. The reason I say that is, if you're considering doing this in-house, then what's going to happen is there will be a learning curve. Whether you get a team member to do it or you do it yourself, if they are not really experienced with Facebook ads, it's going to take them a few months to get up to speed. Whereas if you bring in an expert like an agency to do it for you, they're going to get that up and running and working well much, much quicker. They're also going to provide that valuable advice based on past experiences working with businesses like yours that might help you in other places as well. So a good agency or a good media buyer is going to be able to provide advice and guidance as well around things like landing pages and around things like optimizing conversions based on what they've seen in other businesses they've worked in. So in addition to being able to generate cheap traffic and leads much faster than you can, they're going to be able to provide those insights that come from just years of experience working with other businesses like yours. So that's one reason that I would say an agency is probably a good choice at this stage. Another reason why it's often a good choice is they will have experience in knowing how to scale. Okay, so the first piece of this puzzle when you start buying media or buying Facebook ads is getting it to work and hit your KPIs, meaning getting it to be profitable to the level that you need it to be. Once you hit that and your ads are working well, you're going to want to scale, and hopefully you're going to want to scale as fast as you can. Scaling is another challenge in itself, and a really experienced agency or media buyer who knows how to scale well are worth their weight in gold. And if you're trying to do that yourself, then again, there's another learning curve. So you sort of have that lag, meaning the learning curve trying to get your ads working if you're doing it in-house. And then once you get them working, you're going to experience another learning curve to scale. Both of those things are costly. If you're paying an agency to do it, then yes, there's the cost involved in hiring the agency, but the time and money that they will save you when it comes to that initial learning curve, plus the learning curve of getting to scale, and they'll probably be able to scale you faster and higher than you would be able to do it in-house. That's going to be a real gain for you in the long run. So generally, that would be my advice to the established business who are either looking to outsource their existing media buying or who aren't buying media yet and they want to outsource to an agency. That would be my advice to you. All right, so just to sum that up, let's go over those 3 different scenarios again. So new business, new product, service, looking to get started with Facebook ads, and you're bootstrapping. I would say 99% of cases, you're better off just doing it yourself until you get established, till you know that your product or service or offer will sell and you've got your whole back-end sales system, your sales funnel optimized. I would say do it yourself. You're going to learn a ton along the way as well, and that is going to be invaluable when you start hiring an agency later down the track. If you're a funded startup, meaning you've got capital available, I would hire a good agency or freelancer to come in and help you with that, mainly because they're going to provide skills and expertise that you probably don't have yet, and you can get that really, really quickly. If you try and learn it yourself, it's going to take a long time. And again, just to reiterate the established business side of things, for most people, most established businesses, again, it's better to hire an agency. I personally think because they can get you there quicker than you can yourself. And then once you get to where you need to be, they'll be able to help you scale that as well. It just makes sense to go to an external agency. Maybe when you get to a really big enterprise level, you might want to bring that in-house and have a team of media buyers. But there are significant resource requirements there as well that you get with an agency. You get access to their copywriters, creative designers, video editing teams, as well as their media buyers. And that's all very expensive to bring in-house and not something you want to do until you're a more established, larger business. All right, that wraps it up for this video. Again, if you enjoyed it, please just hit the like button. It really does help me out a ton, and I appreciate it very, very much if you do that. And if you want to hear more from me, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Click that little bell to get notified whenever I release a new video. As always, thank you for watching. I appreciate your time, and I will hopefully see you soon. Bye.